Okay, welcome back to Hardware Guide. Okay, part 6. So this part I will show you how to choose a sensor. Okay, voltage and current. This is the standard one. Okay, so for this case, you have to consider the maximum voltage, maximum current, isolation, and I think it's the frequency. Okay, so maximum voltage and maximum current. Okay, if the voltage maximum voltage sensor, you have to look at the maximum voltage. For current, you have to look at maximum current. Isolation, like I said before, so if it is at the high side, okay, of the circuit, you need to make sure it has high isolation. But if it at the low side, should be okay. Okay. So again, another thing you need to look at the frequency, or sometimes it's called bandwidth. Okay. If you are choosing high switching, okay, you have to make sure it is high bandwidth. If low frequency, if you want to measure a low frequency, no need to worry. Okay, but this one is usually okay. And of course, you also need to consider the DC or AC. Okay, different voltage and current sensor support different type. Okay, either it support both or only just one. So after you already determine this, you have to choose. Okay, this is the type. Okay, so you have a low quality and you have a high quality. And for high quality, you can make your own, or you can just buy it. Okay, so for this case, low quality, of course, very cheap. I think it's around RM 10 ringgit. Okay, but for high quality, if you make on your own, it can cost around RM 350 ringgit. But if you buy it, it can cost around RM 750 ringgit, if not mistaken. So depend on your budget and your application. So if you are doing FYP, I suggest you just do this. Okay, but if you are in research, I suggest you choose the high quality. Okay, this one usually you cannot capture too much. Okay, this one, the bandwidth. Okay, this one is much more better. Okay, then of course, when it comes to high bandwidth, you need to also have a fast controller. Okay, if it is slow, then it's not very good. You cannot just if you have slow microcontroller, you have fast sensor, is basically you get the slow result also. Okay, I think you need to understand the concept of bottlenecks. Okay, if in the system, one system is the worst, all the system will follow the worst quality. Okay, something like that. Okay, bottleneck. Okay, so I choose the low end first. Okay, for FYP, I suggest you just do this. It's much more cheaper. So you go to, I usually just go for Shopee. Shopee have a lot of it. So you can see here, this is voltage sensor, and this one has no isolation. Okay, so be careful. If you choose this, make sure this one is located at the ground. Okay, the ground here needs to be the same as the ground of the controller, microcontroller, and the source, and so on. So this one, you have to be very careful. It don't have any isolation. If you need isolation, I think this one also don't have. Okay, sometimes they also have sold the voltage and current sensor together like this one. Okay, and this one I think is digital. Okay, you need to have some sort of library to understand this. Okay, and this one is for AC. Okay, you just choose which one is good. Okay, and of course this is voltage. For current sensor, no worry, usually it is isolated. Okay, I think this one is not isolated. Okay, you can see here there are rating 5, 20 ampere and 30 ampere. So this one is much more better because this one is isolated. But for this case, I think this one is only DC. Okay, this one is AC. You also have to check that, make sure you choose the correct one. Okay, one limitation of cheap one here, the current rating is very large. You can see here 5 is the smallest. I think 3 is the smallest. So basically, if you have a very small current, it cannot detect the current. So I suggest when you design the circuit, make sure the current at least 3, okay, 3 ampere. If too low, this sensor cannot detect. Even the higher end also has problem to detect the current. It can produce a lot of noise. Okay, that is how you buy the low end current or voltage sensor. But if you want to have a high end, like I said before here, if you want to have a high end and you don't want to design, you can just buy it. So you can, of course, you can just go to the MC. They already make it for you. Okay, he is actually a student from UTM, so most of the thing that you need is already available here. Okay, so you can see here, this is the sensor. So you can see here 730 ringgit. Okay, this one. Okay, this one, like I said with this one. Okay, this is the current sensor. Okay, so either you choose this and this. For this, I think he already improved it. Okay, let me check. Okay, yeah, he already improved this. Should have any problem, you just need to have a power supply here, and it's already isolated. You supply 5 volt, you get the output. But for this one, make sure when you buy this, you have to mention what is the voltage. He will design it for you. Okay, and if you choose a current sensor, of course, you also have to mention to him, okay, what is your current. Oh, okay, for this don't need, because this is winding type. So this is designed for 50 ampere. If you want to reduce the current rating, you just 2 times. If 2 times means that divide by 2, 25 ampere. If 3 times, 50 divided by 3. 4 times winding, divide by 4, something like that. So you need to properly adjust it, because if it's not properly adjusted, the rating is too high, you cannot get the, you cannot measure the current. Okay, so this one has 2. You can see here this one and 2. So you can measure 2 current. This is the old design. The problem is you need to have 4 power supply for this. The voltage sensor, you already improved, only 1 power supply. But for this one, you need to have 4 power supply. Okay, so you have to get ready for 4 power supply just for this sensor. Even when you just use one sensor, you also need 4 power supply. So that is how if you want to just buy the power current and voltage sensor. Okay, so what else? Okay, don't worry about this. This one has high bandwidth. This one is LV25 LEM. Okay, this is the company is LEM LV25P, which has high bandwidth and very accurate. I think it's called Hall effect sensor, and it is isolated, so you don't need to worry. Okay, it will be isolated from the circuit, and you don't endanger your microcontroller. Okay, and if you use this one, it don't have any isolation, and it will damage your microcontroller if something happen. So this one is much more better. But if you want to make on your own, okay, of course the same thing. You just search LEM LV25 LEM LV25, okay, and then you can just buy it, which is quite expensive, 300 ringgit. But if you want a cheaper one, I think in Shopee they have it, only 60 ringgit. LEM LV25, okay, see, it's only LV, yeah. So LV25V P. So this one only 52 ringgit. So you can just buy it here. This one is actually cheap, but like I said before, here is quite expensive. So you can just buy here. Okay. And for the current sensor, of course, this one you can choose this one I forget the name. LA55, I think. Yeah, LA55. Yeah. Okay, you can LA55, this one. Okay. If you want to choose a smaller current, you can choose LA28P. Okay. Same here. The price here is quite is more cheaper. This one is much more expensive. Okay. If you don't like this one is called winding type. Okay. Basically, you just round the wire here. You don't want like don't want this. Okay. This one is actually better because if short circuit happen, this one will not damage. Not damage, but less damage. Okay. If you don't like this type, you can just, I think it's called LM-HY05, I think. Maybe just search this. Yeah, this one. Okay. So you can see here, this one almost the same, but you need to choose the current. Okay, 20 ampere, 10 ampere, 15. Okay. I think the smallest one is this. Okay, no longer stock. Okay, and you can see it's quite expensive. Maybe you can Google Shopee it. I think they don't have it. Why? Okay. Yeah, they don't have it. So for this case, no need. You have to buy from here. I suggest don't do this. Don't buy this. Sometimes I just use this, but usually for small current, it's better to use that one before. Okay. So, and you need to have you need to buy some resistance for this. I think you need to buy 1 or 2 resistance. You can easily get it from the top one. Okay. And to design it, of course, you have to have PCB and many more. Okay, you have to design it properly. I will show it later. Okay, but for now you have to buy this. Okay, if you don't want to buy this, or you can just buy from EMC. Okay, directly, but it's quite high price. Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you.